Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Cali. I thought that I would show you guys how I make my black and white borders for some of my art journal pages. I was working in my July's junk journal and I was about ready to do that, and I said, you know what? I've been wanting to do some process videos, so why not let this be my first one? So this journal I've actually made out of a magazine. This is the first page in it. There are some other pages that I have not yet collaged on, but this is one of the first backgrounds I've done, and I want to put a border on it right now, and I thought I would do some black and white. So I'm going to show you one way of doing this, and this will probably give me extra strips that I can save for, and this is if you don't want to paint directly on the canvas, obviously. So the canvas, this is my scrap paper. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to I just took a 8x10 piece of computer paper, and you can use any kind of paper. I'm actually going to be gluing this onto manila file folder paper for sturdiness, but so you can really do this on anything, and you can do any size or width or length that you would like. But what I did was I just took my paper and I took my ruler, and this is, I'm doing US measurements here. We never quite made it into the metric system. This is about 11 1/4 inches, but I decided to do 1 inch by 1/2 inch strips. So I just went with my paper and my pencil and I marked at 1 inch intervals all the way across, and I stopped at 11, and then I did the same thing here on this edge, and I'm sure you guys know how to do this, but if you don't, I'm going to show you how I do it. And then just draw across all the way, and then la 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 la. So you go all the way across, you know. Someday I'll learn how to edit and be able to fast forward and we can get rid of this footage, but for now, you guys get stuck with me. Doing this, we're learning together, right? I'm excited about the upcoming event going on here on YouTube, the hashtag Love Summer Art event put out by Cinnamon Cooney and Secret Soto, and I believe there's one other person, and please forgive me if I do not know that person's name, but it's exploding all over YouTube. And if you are a content creator for crafting videos of any type of media, jump on board and basically posting videos on July 17th through the 20th with the hashtag Love Summer Art, and we're gonna blow up YouTube with goodness and love. So anyway, I just did that, and if you're not bored out of your skull, then I took it this way and I did 1/2 inch intervals all the way across, and then just so I have my squares. And then what I wound up with, see my fancy schmancy drop cloth, is this. And again, I trim the edges to make it even. So I have boxes of 1 inch by 1/2 inch rectangles, and I am now going to just, oh, I had done bigger ones on the back, so please forgive. I have my handy dandy Elmer's washable school glue, and I'm just going to quickly glue this onto a manila folder to make it sturdier when I cut it out, because I anticipate that I'll have some extra when I'm done using them as a border. So I wanted it to, the computer paper is not so strong, as you guys all know, and once you get done, I'm not sure if I'll be putting any other media over this. This does not have to be perfect because I'll be trimming it, And I'm just going to use my ruler to smooth it out. And then, because, I mean, obviously you could do any color you want, but I'm going to do black and white because I love that Beetlejuice look. And I know that I am not alone. So the first thing I'm going to do, and right now I am using a combination of apple barrel paints from Plaid and a little Martha Stewart. I'm still waiting for my Deco Arts order to arrive, and I'm super excited about that, and I plan on doing some videos when that comes out as well. I hope I am in frame here, you guys. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up these whites. I'm just doing no special science, a little dab of that and a little dab of this. And I have a, not that it matters, but this is a size 10 brush. I don't know, I'm learning, you guys. So I just mixed up some of the white here, and I am going to totally paint, you know, light to dark, but I'm going to just paint across, all the way across here. Yeah, you guys, I'm trying to teach myself how to edit and how to, you know, I want to do more process videos. I'm expanding, I'm learning here. I've told you I'm not computer savvy, although I need to stop saying that. I should probably start saying I am computer savvy, you know, and it will be so. But I'm teaching myself, and, you know, it's hard sometimes when you want to craft, and it's like, oh, should I sit down and... You can't even read manuals anymore. I was going to say read a manual on how to make a video, but everything's online. Or do I want to craft? But, you know, a little discipline, and I think it will be worth it. Right now I have rigged up my tripod with a mixture of hair elastics and wire to hang my camera phone, and I'm hoping that this is in frame and that you guys are seeing all this. I'm sure that in a few years I will look back on this and just kind of laugh at myself, but you know, we all have to start somewhere, right? And I know, you know, I've been making videos since November, and any of my artwork has always kind of been, I'm showing you after the fact. So I wanted to do some process videos and just share with you guys. I still consider myself a newbie here. Not, and I, you know, not to compare myself to others, but I'm definitely a newbie in the field of artists here, and I have so many people to learn from and look up to, and it's just exciting to grow here, and I've noticed tremendous progress already in my art since I've started. So I'm looking forward to continue to grow. So what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to pause this for now and let this dry, and then I will be back, and we're going to do the same thing with our black paint. We're going to go there, and then when that's all dried, we're going to cut them in strips this way, and they'll be perfect little black and white strips. So I'll see you in a few minutes when this is dry. And whoops. Okay, you guys, I'm back. Our white is dry, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the black, obviously in the spots that I haven't painted yet. So I hope everybody's having a good week. We're having some torrential storms here. I feel super humid out. My plants on the deck are loving it though. And speaking of that, I've actually been harvesting all week. peas and beans, and the cucumbers are putting out a lot of flowers. I have plenty of tomatoes that are coming, and I told you guys I used to have a ginormous garden, and now I am gardening on my small deck. But that's okay, you know, to everything, right? But I do love to can, and I love to make my own spaghetti sauce. So I'm looking forward to more fresh tomatoes. I could have gone with a bigger brush. So that would have made it a little easier so I don't have to keep going back and forth. I told you this is a size 10. I don't know anything about brushes. Maybe the next size might be a 12. But I don't have to be so neat on the outside edges because we are going to be cutting them off. So I'm just going to continue doing this the whole way down. And that's it. This really looks like prison stripes, doesn't it? And every time I see black and white borders, I always think of Beetlejuice, which I love that movie. And what was I watching with my grandson this weekend? For you guys who watch my videos, you saw in one of my auction hauls, I got that ginormous fish, that big stuffed bass. Well, I gave it to my grandson this weekend, and it was a hit. We slept with it. He didn't put it down. But we watched one of my very favorite movies of all time. I'm a big Tim Burton fan, and I know a lot of you guys are. You know, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Coraline, and Big Fish is one of my very favorite Tim Burton movies. And Helena Bonham Carter is in it, and she's in a lot of his movies. I adore her. But who is it? Ewan McGregor stars in it. And for those of you who have never seen it, I can't recommend it enough. But it certainly was, and I hope I'm in frame here, it certainly was a big hit with my grandson. And that's one of those movies that, I mean, I'm 50 years old, and I'm never too old for. So it's timeless. It's for all ages. It's a feel-good movie. I get very emotional watching it. It's a story between a father and a son. And, you know, like many of us, well, actually I can't say that. I have a great relationship with my mom, and we've never had difficulties. And my dad isn't around. I told you he died when I was 3. So I didn't have a relationship with my father, but I know a lot of people do have difficult, if you will, relationships with their parents, and it's hard sometimes. But this is a story of a father and a son, and you know, the son kind of grew up embarrassed about his father's storytelling ways. And, you know, at the end, you know, the dad, well, I won't ruin it, but, you know, life is really short, and we need to seize every moment and find the magic wherever we can. That's what I try to do. That's what I hope I showed my children, and I'm very conscious of trying to show my grandchildren now. And, yeah, so at any time, if you're over at my house, again, I don't watch a lot of regular mainstream TV, but I do have some of my favorite movies: The Princess Bride, Labyrinth, Never-Ending Story, Young Frankenstein, which I told you guys I'm going this Friday. I was going to go Wednesday to a matinee, but it turns out that some of our Actually, a large group of the people from the auction are going on Friday night. So we're going to go on Friday and check out local theater for some. I'm having difficulty, of course, with this last stripe here. We're going to check it out. I can't say enough about supporting your local theater. It's always worth it, and there's amazing talent out there. But yeah, so that'll be that. So good movies at Grandma's. Yeah, we also were watching E.T. for a little bit too. What else do we watch a lot of? You guys, you see it's so humid here that, and plus I'm sure the glue stick is not helping, that my paper is buckling just for this last strip. And you know, I want it to be perfect. No, nothing is perfect, but sometimes I'll do these borders, and again, I'm hoping you guys are seeing this. Sometimes I'll do these borders like scalloped edges, you know, like half a circle, or I've done black and white Zentangle borders, but sometimes a good, and this might seem like more work than it's worth, but if you're trying to paint on top of water-soluble media or anything like that, you don't want to reactivate things or whatever. I like to, just like making homemade washi tape, I'll make some of these and then have them on hand. So if I ever just want to glue on a border, I can do it. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll be back we're going to cut it out, and I'll show you how that works out. And then after that, I'm actually going to glue them on my journal page, and we'll take it from there. So I'll see you in a few minutes, okay guys? Okay. Okay, you guys, so now I'm back and this is dry. And while I'm filming this, I'm editing at the same time, which again, you guys know is a whole new ball game for me. So if you're actually watching this, I've been successful, but it's quite the process, especially I'm using the YouTube editor, and you know, I don't have anything to compare it to, but it seems like it takes an awful long time. But anyway, speaking of taking a long time, I sped up the drying process a little bit, and I have this heat gun. I wanted to show you guys. It's by Top Flight. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything to me, but this is something else that I got at the auction. It looked completely brand new when I got it. And the reason that I'm talking about this now is because I saw in one of Kelly Donovan's recent videos, she was talking about waxing her papers. And with this heat gun, which I got for $1, by the way, I got this, and I also got 2 little mini irons that are like on handles. And I believe that it also came with some other model airplane things. So this was someone who made model airplanes, and Tom explained to me that I guess there's like a plastic coating or something that they use on the wings that they need the heat guns to dry it with. But I had given him those little irons, and when I saw Kelly's video, I called Tom and I was like, do you still have those irons? I want to use them to try to learn how to wax. So that's a long story short about my heat gun that I got for $1. Anyway, so now these are dry, and I'm just going to cut them up. And you can skip, well, no, you can't skip, well, we're going to cut them out, but you know, obviously you can do this on any kind of paper or cardstock or watercolor paper or whatever. I'm just using what I have handy, and I like the sturdiness of manila folders, so I have a bunch of them laying around. And my last June's journal that I never finished, I made out of manila folders. And I was going to continue my July journal in that, and I decided, nope, I wanted to do a journal a month for this year, so I went ahead and made the journal that I showed you before. Okay, so that's trimmed out, and now, like I said to you guys, I'm not going to trim this way. I'm going to go this way, and I can still faintly see the lines that I had. So again, I hope you guys, you know what, I say that now, I should have put my glasses on. I just find that even though this seemed to be a big process, that this is a good way to get uniform spacing, and you know, you can get a whole bunch done at the same time, and there's something about it that appeals to my Virgo nature. And if these strips are coming off of the backing, because like you use just a glue stick. I didn't want to use tacky glue or anything because I didn't want it to be lumpy and bumpy. And again, I apologize if this is super tedious to watch. I promise you that I will learn the fine arts of speeding up and etc. on your videos. But you know, part of the charm of the videos of the people that I like to watch are the fact that they talk through their process. There are many, many amazing, talented artists here on the YouTube, in the YouTube community who do process videos, but a lot of times they do music, which is fine. I mean, that's to each their own, and that's wonderful too. But I kind of miss the personal touch of someone talking. I feel like we're hanging out together, and I like super long videos. I like, you know, if they go on for at least a half an hour. And I'm just gonna cut from this end too, just to break it. And again, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but I can still faintly see the pencil lines underneath, especially in the white. So I'm just using those as a guide. And yeah, okay, I'm not gonna keep you guys here forever. Let's just start there. And what I'm gonna do is take out, I told you, I took a magazine, which this is really a cool magazine. It is, like I said before, northernsun.com. And they just have a lot of really cool, I think, forward-thinking, right-thinking, cool things. But anyway, I took that, and I glued music paper, dictionary page, paper towel. I did a bunch of acrylic paint, and then this white part is just tissue paper. And I thought that I would do a black and white border. And hence, and can you guys see this? Am I even in frame? No, I am not. How about that? So I'm just gonna glue these around, and I will do that, and then I will get back to you guys and show you the finished product. So these are just the strips, and voila. I know that it's not rocket science, but I thought it was a handy tip. And again, I'm going to have a bunch left over, so if I ever need a quick border, here they are. So I'll see you when this is done, you guys. Okay guys, I'm back. Everything is dry, and I think it looks pretty cool. You know, a black and white border really, you know, adds a pop to pretty much anything, I think. And I know I'm not alone. I have all these extra strips left over that I said before. I'll just tuck away with my other papers, and anytime I get the urge to use a black and white border, I have one handy. You know, I'm such a yin-yang. I was thinking before, as I'm struggling with my scissors to cut out a straight line, hello, I could have used A, either my paper cutter, or B, a rotary cutter as well. So, hello, like I said, still working out the kinks here, but it all worked out. And another thing I just want to show you guys, I'm sure I'm not alone. Do you guys store your tacky glue in a glass upside down or something like that? And if you don't, you should. Am I alone in this? But I hate having to wait for it to come out all the time. So I just keep it here with the lid on upside down, and it's always ready to flow. So yeah, you probably already knew that. I hope you guys are having a great night. And again, bear with me. This was my first real process video. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot more, and anticipating they can only get better from here. So you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.